Lee Touchton again, former president of the Valdosta NAACP. I want to talk to you a little bit more about the Kendrick Johnson case, in particular, what set off the chain of events that led to extreme mistrust by the Johnson family toward local law enforcement that handled the investigation into Kendrick Johnson's death. Bill Watson was our coroner at the time in 2013. In Georgia, coroners do not have to have a medical degree or a scientific degree. They don't even have to be graduates from college. We are not like other states where a coroner is also a medical examiner. The coroners here simply take custody of the body and preserve the chain of custody. They feel the femoral artery. They declare that is a dead body. They put the body in a body bag. They use special zip ties, and they are the ones who preserve the chain of custody because the body is physical evidence. Now, let me explain why Bill Watson and Sheriff Chris Prine had such a contentious relationship. Bill Watson had also been involved in the death of James Eunice, who drowned in Ocean Pond. He was also another young person in Lowndes County. His body was not found for 2 weeks. He drowned. We know he drowned because his friend was out there with him, and the skiff was found, and James Eunice was not found. So the team searched the pond for 2 weeks until they finally found him. The sheriff insisted that the coroner remain at the scene. He was there for 2 weeks waiting for the body to be found. The reason for that was because the sheriff wanted the coroner on scene because there were allegations or questions that there might have been foul play, and he wanted the coroner there immediately to take custody of the body. Well, Bill Watson sitting around for 2 weeks didn't make him happy. Okay, so there's that going on between the coroner and the sheriff. When KJ was found, obviously there was no missing body. His body was there. So it wasn't like the coroner had to witness the discovery of the body. And he couldn't have anyway because the body was discovered in the gymnasium by a group of kids who were having class and a coach who was giving them a test, and some kids had climbed up on the vertical mat and they saw KJ's feet sticking up. When they saw the feet sticking up, they called the coach. The coach came over. The coach got other students involved. They pulled the mats down. KJ's body shot forward about 3 feet from the end of the mat that his body was in. So, of course, the body had been moved. Now, the coroner got out in public and he said the body had been moved, the scene had been compromised, and there was no cooperation from law enforcement. Well, he's right on two things. The body was moved because they thought they were rescuing a student who might need resuscitation, and the scene was compromised because for the previous day and during that class period, there had been kids all throughout the gym. So there's no way that you could preserve a death scene before the discovery of a body. And a lot has been made about, they didn't wear booties and et cetera, et cetera. It would not have mattered because there were so many people all over the death scene. Okay, so Bill Watson goes public with his complaints and a scathing report, and this causes the Kendrick Johnson family to have extreme mistrust about what law enforcement has been doing with their child. So the coroner should not have ever allowed the body bag to be opened because a body is physical evidence and the chain of custody must be preserved. However, now that the family has been so upset about the way that the case is being handled, Sheriff Prine felt very pressured to allow them to come see Kendrick's body. So he allowed them to see the body. It shouldn't have happened, but he did. If KJ had been murdered, the defense attorney for the defendant would have claimed, and rightfully so, that potentially evidence could have been planted or tampered with, and by so doing, it might implicate falsely his defendant that he's representing. That's why you don't let the body bag be opened by anyone except medical and crime scene and law enforcement personnel. But in this case, the sheriff allowed the family to see the body. Okay, so if you want to know why everybody in the Johnson family was so upset, you need look no further than Bill Watson slamming the handling of the Kendrick Johnson case. Now, an addendum to this is that later on, when the Johnsons sued everyone, Bill Watson wrote an affidavit that was entered into the record, and in it he says that he agrees with the conclusions of the GBI medical examiner, and he agrees that the cause of death for Kendrick Johnson was in fact positional asphyxia, and he did not see anything in his review of the case to indicate that there was foul play. So there you have it. Make of it what you will.